attention. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going to go on a quest for truth together. Yes, we certainly are. I hope you all are having a great and grand Monday evening. It's the 7th of February. And hello, Operation Shutdown and Jacob Waters. If you're not the first, you're the last. Ricky Bobby. All righty. All right. I am going to share this out to it's not my favorite social media, but it's my only one right now that I have, Facebook. I'm heavily shadow banned. They put me at the bottom for 90 days. So people aren't seeing my stuff as much, but some people say that they do see my stuff. So I'm a little confused. I just can't wait till Truth Social comes on, because I think there's going to be, a chance there to speak truth and not be deplatformed or put in some kind of algorithmic HE double toothpicks, if you know what I mean, which they seem to do. Gloria Paddock, you're here. Welcome. And Catherine Weiss, welcome to the program. All righty then. Well, isn't this fun? Yes. You know you're at the Truth Quest because we're just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious. And the paranormal is the new normal. Yeah, the Truth Quest, baby. That's where we're at. And we're trying to figure this all out. We're getting little clues and hints every day. And we're getting closer to that ultimate truths. And hello there, everybody. Yes, we're getting closer to the truth, friends. And it might seem like we're spinning our wheels at times, but sometimes you got to spin the wheels to get something to happen. And so that's what we're doing, I think. We're making things happen. So, still working on trying to get Corey Good to come on. Haven't heard back from him yet. Hopefully we'll soon. That'll be fun. I got a lot of questions. Hello, Ralph. Good to see you again. Glad that you're here. Wow. A lot of people here early today. I started a little earlier than normal. Yeah. Just because I was ready. I was ready. Ready. And so ready to do stuff like this. Now, I took a meme the other day. One of my friends shared a meme. And I took that meme and I had an idea for it. And so I changed just the second bubble of words I changed. And here's what I came up with. And yes, it's our favorite dynamic duo, Batman and Robin. Robin says, "Holy cow, Batman, what's that amazing sound?" And I just changed what Batman said. "The honks of freedom, Robin. The honks of freedom, Robin." You got to say it with that Batman urgency, you know. So there you go. I thought that was a good one. The honks of freedom, Robin. Yes, that's what we're hearing. The honks of freedom. Even the Canadian geese are getting in on it. Cream or meme? Meme. It's a meme. Yeah. And I think my other friend who posted this was my good friend, Chuck Thunder. And originally, see, he's a heavy metal kind of a guy. So originally Batman said Pantera, but I think it's a much better meme having to do with the Freedom Convoy. Yeah, and they're having some problems there. The police showed up in force, and they confiscated some of their fuel and some other things. Despicable. They refuse to talk to them. They just want to just arrest them all. So this is not the way a a coherent for the people government works. This is obviously not a for the people government, the current government of Canada and a lot of places around the world. They've been hijacked by Klaus Schwab and the rest of these globalists, you know. Hey, Dark Brain, there you are. Good to see you here. And Gloria Paddock. Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. You know, there's nothing better than a good Batman meme, and you got to go with the original Batman and Robin. Now, the original Robin, whose name is Burt Ward, he is one of my Facebook friends. So there you go. So if you're on Facebook, look him up. He's a very cool dude. All right. And sadly, Adam West has passed away. So all we got left is Robin to carry the torch there for the original Batman and Robin team. So how do you like that? Great meme. Feel free to screenshot that and share it out. Or go to my Facebook page and download it from there. There you go. Memes make a difference. That's how we're going to change the world, friends. Memes. Oh, and I'm going to grab number 5 on the thumbs up. I'm number 5. My lucky number is number 5. Number 5. So there you go. That's that. Isn't that wonderful? I thought that was a good one. And, you know, I'm a big Batman fan, you know, the original Batman. I thought it was funny. And as a kid watching it really taught me how to be a good citizen, you know? It's a very important thing that children aren't learning these days. They're not learning how to be a good citizen. They don't even know what that means. It's very sad. So I think they should, well, I guess they are rerunning that show. So there's a chance that youth will see it. I guess if their dad or their grandpa's watching it, they have no choice, huh? If they're over there. So there you go. Make a difference. Expose these kids to awesome entertainment. And they'll learn something too. Don't you think? I think. All right. Well, we got that one out of the way. That's my favorite meme at the momentum. Here is another one that is just fabulous. I'm sure you'll agree with me. Take a look at that. There's young Pepe. He's on that Canadian goose. He's got the Canadian flag. He's got a hat. He's staying warm. He's hanging on. And what? He's honking. Honk, honk. And now, I don't know if you've known this or not, if you know this or not, but Facebook has banned the word honk as hate speech. Anything that's not, you know, towing the left's communism line is hate speech. Even the word honk. Can you believe it? Can you even believe it? It's, I mean, it's not working anymore for them. It's just not working. It's just not working. And I can't be happier about it. Andy Social, welcome. All lurkers are welcome. Yeah, for sure. So I thought that was a great one. Take yourself a screenshot of that one. Get Peppy up there in social media. And, you know, let's change this world one meme at a time. You know what I mean? There you go. Honk, honk. Okay. When I put like a lot of exclamation points at the end of something, I'm usually counting out to 17. I know that probably no one ever stops to count, but I always usually try to do 17 exclamation points. Seems to be my favorite number these days for the last number of years here. I wonder why. That is a neat picture. Hi, Abby. Yeah, I just saw that before I went on air here that I gotta show that one. That's a great one. Somebody drew that, so that's awesome. Even the Canadian geese are getting in on it, friends. It's the honks of freedom. There you go, the freedom honk. The honkler. Yeah, we love the honkler, don't we? Good old Peppy. Peppy the honkler. He's the best. The best. The best. Oh, yeah. And guess what, friends? We have another old UFO story to kind of look at here. And here it is. It's way over here. Okay, so this is from the UFO Files group. This is from 1956. Look at that photo, friends. Take a look at that photo. From 1956, Rosetta Natal, South Africa, July 17th. A well-respected member of South African society. Her husband was a major in the South African Air Force, and Elizabeth worked for the Air Force intelligence. 7 photographs were taken in all, 2 included here. I only see 1. There were also 2 witnesses to the taking of the photos. Okay. Taken in the foothills of the Drakensberg Mountains, Drakensberg, I don't know how to say that. And is so dubbed the Drakensberg photos. These are real. They're extremely impressive. She never changed her story. She died in 1994 at the age of 83. Now, I did some digging around and I found a few more of the photographs, but I want to like zoom in on this thing because this is remarkable. Look at that. Look at that. This is, you know, and again, I've never seen this before. So, you know, I can't really even call myself any kind of expert because I keep coming across all these awesome cases that I've never seen before. You know? But that's wild. Play with the. Yeah, I think it's best the way it was. A little bit fuzzed to get rid of that pixelation. There we go. There we go. So what do you think of that one, friends? Isn't that incredible? Now, I do have a few more photographs. Top of a teapot. The top of a teapot. Yeah, you know, I many years ago, I was out in my garage and I had a bunch of hubcaps and I had a camera at the time. I thought, you know what? I'm going to see what a hubcap flying in the air, if it looks like a UFO. And I took many photographs of all these completely different kind of hubcaps. None of them looked like a UFO. They all look just like a hubcap. So, you know, and it's really hard to throw something and then take a picture of it. It's really almost, you need more than one person. But yeah, she's got several of these, and I'll show you some of the other photographs. But yes, Operation Shutdown. I agree with you. I think the fact that there were 7 photographs and multiple witnesses make this case more credible. Yes, it certainly does. Yeah. So what did we have in 1956 that was flying around like that? Think about that. Think about it. Yeah. Very strange. Strange indeed. And so let's get some of those other photographs up here too. Here's one. Okay. So this one's a little bit harder to see, but it's there. There it is. Actually, it looks like it has some kind of a halo around it, maybe from moving. Interesting. That is an interesting shot. Very, very interesting. And now this wasn't she was Air Force intelligence for South Africa. So, and her husband was a Air Force person too. So there you go. Yeah, we gotta fuzz that out a bit. There we go. There you go. There you have it. There's another one. Now, some of the other ones are not as clear or as good as that first one, but for a 1956 photo, pretty darn good. Pretty darn good, I would say. I'm glad that they're finally starting to talk about this publicly. You know, this, was that the only other one I found? I thought there was two of them. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was it. Yeah. Speaking of honks, here's one for you. The NPCs. Did they honk? Yeah. He's crying. So honk. When next time you're driving, honk. When you see a truck, honk. And some friends of mine were filming from an overpass, the swear engines, and they had banners. There was a ton of people out there, and the truckers are honking. It's such a cool thing. The way that the Canadian government is they're trying to dismantle it with force is despicable. These people obviously they obviously have a grievance, and they should be listened to, because they literally run the country. Without the truckers, they got nothing. Nobody's going to get any food. Nobody's going to get anything. They cannot ignore this. And it's not that they're, Canada's 90% vaxxed. So most of these truckers are vaxxed. They just don't want the ones who don't want it to have to do it. So it's really, really despicable what they're doing. And a lot of NPCs are getting hurt feelings. Too bad. So sad. Sorry, not sorry. There you go. That's karma. That's karma for you. It's coming back at you, NPCs. Yeah. Good old NPCs. Hey, Peggy Dancer. Peggy Dancer's here. Welcome to the program. We got lots of cool people here now. Lots of cool people. All right. Yeah, check that out. Yeah, NPCs. Good old NPCs. Our normie friends that just don't have a whole lot of common sense, you know. They just follow the crowd. They follow the other sheep right into the slaughterhouse. Very sad. We try to warn them, but they're not. Canada won't break. I live here. All right, Andy Social. Yeah, yeah. It just keeps getting better and better out there. There's this one snafu of the, you know, the. Now I saw this today, and I think this is somewhere in Europe, but this is happening all over the place, friends. Ex-police constable marching for freedom. The yellow vests. Look at that. That's what it's all about. And so if you're a law enforcement officer and you're told to go break up a peaceful protest where they just want to be talked to, that's not what you signed up for. So all of these police officers need to do what this guy did. Stand up to the lockdowns and do the right thing. Join the people. Be on the side of the people, not the side of the tyrants. Right? We don't need no stinking tyrants. We just don't need them. Okay. Here we are. There we have it. Yep. That's a good one. You know, and this guy probably does not realize that what he printed on the back of his jacket's now being shown worldwide on the Truth Quest. How do you like that? Broadcasting all around the globe from our spaceship here, high above the stratosphere. Hello, Mud Rabbit. I hope that you're feeling better. I hope that you're feeling better, Mud Rabbit. We care about you. And we want you to be better, healthy, strong, because you rock. Yeah. Part of the mod squad. We got 3 in the mod squad now. Yeah. We hope that you are feeling better. We pray that you are. And here's someone had this idea. I thought it was a good one. And that is to for the American truckers to come and park along the border and secure the border, do what our government hasn't been doing. I think that would be a fantastic thing. Wouldn't that be great? I think it would rock. It definitely would rock. So there you go. There's a plan for you. Yeah, I saw Alara is back tonight. Yes. That's another reason why I wanted to go a little earlier so we're not overlapping as much. Yeah, Alara, they're talking about the law of one and the harvest. You know, I've always I love the law of one. I like the message of we're all one. If you hurt somebody else, you're hurting yourself. That whole thing makes a lot of sense to me. But the harvest is the thing I have a hard time swallowing. The upcoming harvest I'm looking forward to. Well, that just doesn't sound very good. And it sounds a lot like Logan's Run. Do you remember that movie? Logan's Run? Where it was like the ideal society. Everyone was healthy and young. And when you reached a certain age, you had like a light on your hand. It would blink and it would turn like a bright color. That means it's your time to renew. You go to the renewal area and you rise up and you explode and you be reborn. But are you reborn or just killed? So there's no old people. I think that's what the harvest is like. So I'm a little bit shaky on that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's good that she's talking about that. I think it needs to be talked about. You know, it's just a little bit hard to swallow that the solar flash is going to come. There's going to be this great harvest. And, you know, what does that mean? Uh, it could mean a lot of different things. You remember Logan's Run? Yeah, 35 was how old they could only get to. And then Logan figures out, hey, this is messed up. I'm getting out of here. And he starts running to save his own skin. He realizes that this is a sham. You think differently about the harvest? Okay. And yeah, I think it's the word harvest. Jesus comes as a thief in the night. It's going to happen and we won't even know it until it's over. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Like Soylent Green. Yeah, Joe. Hello, Joe. How you doing there? Soylent Green. Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah. So in the Law of One, apparently they talk about the harvest, and that's where souls get harvested. And so if you've lived your life 51% service to others, I think that's what it is, then you will ascend to the whatever fourth dimension, the new earth, or whatever they're talking about. And if not, you're going to redo that another lifetime in this 3D, three-dimensional world or another world. It's very confusing. It's kind of hard to understand. Oh, thank you, Dark Brain, for putting my PayPal information up. Yeah, that really does help. Um, uh, and the beauty of the PayPal is that 100% of that goes to the program. So that's another thing to consider. So there you go. And I did not make it to the post office again today. The roads were very slippery today, and I have bald tires in the front, and so it's really kind of slip sliding around out there. So I'm going out tomorrow. I'll be mailing that stuff tomorrow. So there you go. Everything was created in 6 seconds. Okay, Ralph? Yeah. Well, yeah. So apparently, you know, and all this information, do we know it's even true? We know we don't, but apparently, according to some, one of the things they found on the moon, on the far side of the moon, was glass, a lot of glass ejecta from the sun, a lot of like molten glass that struck the moon during one of our solar flares, solar flash. I guess that happens every so many thousands of years. And apparently that's what tilted our planet. If we get hit by this ejecta again, it could tilt our planet again, could change could change the weather patterns. You know, we're tilted at like a 23-degree angle, and that's what gives us our seasons. So if we're tilted back the other way or even further, if this mass ejecta hits the Earth again, and they're talking about like 3 mile high worldwide tsunamis. So I'm looking into getting a surfboard because I think that might be the only way to a surfboard and a suit of armor. There you go. And I'll be out there surfing on top, catching that wave. I don't know how to surf, but I'll have to learn quickly. But I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I sold my kayak. I sort of wish I hadn't, but I can't imagine being in a kayak for any length of time, you know. And you're not really protected from the elements. So if that happens, I mean, if that happens, after it, we're supposed to have 1,000 years of peace, and all the AI signal will be dead, because that's what the solar flash does. It kills the AI signal. And we've talked about the AI signal before. It's a conscious signal. It's consciousness, but it's a signal. Oh, okay, Mud Rabbit. Between you and me, Aaron, we can save the world. Oh, right. You surf the wave, and I'll catch that asteroid. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. I like that idea. I like that idea. Well, I'm going to put the join the convo info on the screen here, on the chat, in the chat there. There you go. And yeah, I apologize for it being, we're going to be just fine. Yeah, well, you know, our souls live forever. So we'll make it through no matter what, right? We've got immortal souls. We are immortal spiritual beings, temporarily in a flesh bodysuit. Yeah. Hey, Carl. Good to see you, Carl. Yeah. There she did. Mud Rabbit cleaned it up for me. Thank you so much, Mud Rabbit. Someday you'll have to teach me that method that you have, because I try and it just doesn't seem to work for me. There you go. I've been looking at this one for a while, haven't we? It's good to be here, friends. I really miss you on their days off. I love being with my friends. So thank you for all being here. And thank you for telling people about the show. Because that's what we do. And for all the police officers who are not, and the doctors and nurses who are doing things against the people, I was just doing my job, will not work this time. You will be held accountable when the tides turn, and the tides always turn. The world is watching. There will be evidence. You will be caught. You will be held accountable. I'm just doing my job. No, that's what the Nazi thugs said. It doesn't work. If you're doing something immoral, don't do it. stand down and stand up for the people. It's the only way we're going to get out of this. We need to all stand in unity with one voice. Tell these creeps they've taken it way too far, so we're taking it back. Taking back the power, baby. We're not going to act on your unlawful orders against the people. That's not us. That's not America, okay? That's not how it's done. So it's not an excuse, just doing my job. Sorry. But during the Nuremberg trials, you know, a lot of people said that, but they still became swingers, didn't they? Swinging from the neck on the other end of a rope. Yeah. Notepad. WordPad. Okay, I don't have Notepad or WordPad. I just highlight the type and I copy it and I paste it. And after I've pasted it, I try to add the spaces and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I guess I got to use WordPad. So confusing. Oh, okay, Mud Rabbit. That's interesting. I read an interesting theory on Telegram today. Can't remember who it was, but that many of these Antifa and BLM activists come from those missing kids on milk cartons over the years. Could be. And, you know, they're also, sadly, in this depraved things that people do with children, they a lot of these children are born without papers. They're born in caverns, they're raised like cattle, sadly. And so, yeah, some of them might be those, some of them might be, you know, farmed, if you will. It looks like Carl to go is with us here. Let's check out to see what Carl has to say. Just doing my job. Just doing my job. And it's Combat Carl to the rescue. How you doing?
Oh, great. Yes, I've missed you too. Yeah, the weekends and you know, without the Patriot family is kind of boring. So I missed everybody as well. And hello everybody in the chat. Hold on, I'm minimizing and maximizing the screens. All right, so Abby, Social, Peggy, Dancer, Mud Rabbit, Dark Brain, Ralph. I'm missing a few here.
Gloria Paddock, you mentioned
Gloria,
her.
yeah, okay.
And Catherine Weiss.
And Catherine, there we go. There we go. All right. I think that's everybody. Good to see everybody. Good to see you guys. And yeah, it's exciting weekends. What's going on? I got to mute the screen. All right. So yeah, big stuff going on with the truckers and so much craziness. And it's, you know, it's picking up at a pace where you know, it's finally picking up pace is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And more people are starting to see the light, starting to recognize what's going on. You know, and it's absolutely ridiculous that what the police are trying to do and how their mainstream media is narrating this Canadian convoy. It's absolutely ridiculous. But the Cowboys, oh, see, they had it down. They brought a wagon and they had a bunch of drums in the back that had fuel and water and whatnot. So
nice.
when the truckers run out of gas, their horses won't. And then they can provide the gas for everybody.
Awesome. That's fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they can train the horses to go near the where Trudeau goes in, to whatever door he goes in. Big pile of horse manure.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah, when the Cowboys come to town, shit's hitting the fan.
Yeah. Isn't that hot? I love that. How can anyone be hey, song Aaron Lewis music. Hey, Aaron, that's a cool name. Didn't notice that. Yeah, it's heartwarming. But look at what I can't believe. Well, these people are evil, so nothing should surprise us, right?
Right.
Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I just think it's so ridiculous that they scream the same narrative every time. It doesn't matter when it comes to us patriots making any kind of move. They hold up to a mirror of what they've done and blame us for it. So it's
projection, 100% projection. Yeah, everything they say other people are doing, they are doing and have done numerous. Yeah. It's rules for radicals. It's right in there, right? The rules for radicals.
You were, yeah. What were you talking about before I jumped in?
About I'm just doing my job, and people saying, well, I just did my job, and that's not going to cut it anymore. We were talking about that.
Right. Yeah. How everybody, you've got hundreds of thousands of people who have given up their jobs so they can protect their freedoms. But the only jobs that are important are the ones that are enforcing the bullshit mandates. Excuse my French.
Yeah. And those police officers that the riot squad, they're exempt. They don't have to get the jab. Isn't that curious? So they have no reason to join. But if they were smart, they would join, because their exemption is going to run out as soon as they get their job done, right?
Well, they're, they act like they're protected, and they're not.
Right.
They are the most vulnerable. They're the expendable ones.
Yeah.
And they don't realize it. I mean, I was a police officer for a very long time. You were treated nothing like a number. Same with the military. You're just a number. You don't exist outside of paper. And so if you die, it's just -1. If you fail to complete your mission, it's -1.
So were you a civilian police officer?
No, military police officer.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
But I did go through the Civilian Police Academy in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. So just a question, like when you're in the break room, do they have like really, really good donuts? I mean,
No, we get the absolute worst donuts.
Really?
Although some of the best food comes through the gates. When you're standing there checking IDs, the civilians bring in cookies and homemade whatever wide variety of foods, and so we rarely ever went hungry. But the homemade stuff is definitely better than the store-bought stuff.
Yeah. Hello, Artist 61. Looks like Artist 61 snuck in.
Hey, there she is. Good to see you. She never replied to my email, so
okay.
I just throw that out there. Dark Brain finally responded my email, which was great.
Okay. Yeah. Look what I got in the mail. I got this in the mail. Let me turn off this screen share so you can see it. It's a little book from my friend Bruce Holmes. It's the Oracle book. So you ask it a question and you open it up to a page and there's your answer. Kind of like the 8-ball, the magic 8-ball.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's kind of a neat little thing. Yeah,
That is awesome.
that was by his son, Adam Holmes. So apparently he's got him in one bookstore. So yeah, did him as a promotion, but they're kind of a neat little idea.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
I love little books. Little books rock. Oh, we got another guest. Should we let another person in? And the more the merrier?
Absolutely. We can three-way this.
That's what she said. So it's our friend Caillou Harris. Mr. Harris, welcome to the program.
Hello, Aaron. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. How's everybody?
Good. And Carl's here too. So
How's it going,
Hey,
Mr. Harris?
Carl. Hey, what's going on, Carl?
Oh, it's great. It's great to be on here and great to talk to my family tonight.
Yeah. Hey, Aaron. I want to tell you something before I even begin. We all start. I just want to tell you, everyone listening in the chat, you have such a wonderful chat. Everybody in the chat are so much beautiful people there. You have a great chat. They're like family, you know?
I
You know, when you have a problem, try to look for something, Mud Rabbit is on it and she gives you the answer, and Dog Brain, everyone there. Oh, you know, you have a lovely chat. They're the most outstanding, beautiful people. And I wanted to say that before so many times, and then we get lost in the conversation and it slips my mind. And I just wanted to say that first.
Yeah, I got to shout out to the family. You know, that's this, you know, these channels, you know, don't really, you know, they wouldn't take off the way they did if without the chat. And the chat is family, you know.
Yeah.
It's nice to, you know, hear what the speakers are saying and what Aaron's got on his mind. But you know, the chat is where it's at.
Yeah, man. You have a beautiful chat and everybody in there. It's like you really feel like, you know, like like a true family. Like they're there, you know. It's like that's how life's supposed to be, you know. That's how your neighbor's supposed to be. That's how your friends supposed to be, you know, in life, you know. You know, just really there, like a band of brothers, like when you're in the war, you know. People who got your back, who's on your side, you know. Too many people in the world are not like that. And you got a lovely chat. I just wanted to shout them out real quick.
Yes. I think the exact same thing. It's so heartwarming, and you're right. They are like family, and they just appear like magic, like magical angels, friendly angels. It's heartwarming. It really is.
They're true patriots.
True patriots. Yes.
Absolutely.
Good people. Good people. And great names too. Andy Social. Austin Morris, there he is. Greetings from Knoxville. Welcome to the program.
How's it going, Andy? Or Austin? I was thinking Andy, somebody else. My bad.
So, Mr. Harris, what's been on your mind?
I remember the last time we talked, I got knocked off. I think you're having technical difficulties with the system and you could chat, you know, and the screen had froze when I was on here, but when I got out, I thought it was something I did. So I didn't log off. I just got out of the Zoom for a second and went to another app, went to the YouTube app and see if it was something I did. If it was frozen there, when I came back, it was just everything was just locked. It was like frozen, and then I got knocked off. So it was something that was going on, but I don't think it was on my end. So So I got knocked off that night.
Well, I'm really sorry about that.
That's okay. But I did a little bit more. I was trying a little bit more investigating about that book that we was talking about, the alien interview. Remember?
Yes.
And the thing that I just don't, I can't recall what they were saying. I know that they were saying we're so-called prisoners on this planet, trapped in these human bodies and stuff. Is that the same? It goes for the animals in this planet. Their spirits or souls in their body are also prisoners, just like ours.
I really don't know. I do know that according to the book, now the book, there's so many caveats to the book that maybe might mean that it's not true, but in the book, Oh gosh.
I
Yeah,
would suggest not read that book. No,
What?
just I would suggest not reading that book. That's not accurate information.
well,
I mean,
it might be. It might be. There's so much in it that rings true. And the thing that made me really sort of believe it more than not believe it was the fact that when Errol, the sole survivor of the Roswell crash, allegedly was communicating to Matilda and tried to tell her that she's an immortal spiritual being. And she said, yeah, I know, I'm a Catholic, I have a soul. And Errol said, no, no, you are an immortal spiritual being. And she still didn't understand. And Errol said, be out of your body. And she was, all of a sudden, she was above her head and she was a round ball and she could see in all directions. That's exactly what happened to me when I was out of my body. I was a round ball and I could see in all directions. And that's the only other account of that, except when I talked to Andrew Brishago. He had a similar experience when he was out of his body of being able to see in all directions.
right.
So
Well, see, that's the beauty of it, and that's the thing is the trap isn't what we okay. So you have to realize that even though you think you are physical, you are not. You
right,
are a combination of frequencies. That are, it's just these energy fields that are bouncing back and forth really slow that incorporate what you think you are as physical. Your soul, we're all energy, and our soul is the highest vibratory energy that there is that we've ever been exposed to. So, our souls have the ability to um, investigate other dimensional frequencies that are out there. So when you're talking about your dreams, well, it wasn't you, it was somebody else was talking about their dreams. When you dream, you're actually experiencing what is going on at that time in that dimension. And physics, that we think of as physics, only apply to this dimension that we're currently in. Once we get into these other dimensions, physics are completely different. Everything is, it's why I go back to everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. If you can, if you could just step back for a second and snap your fingers and see everything as energy, it would be like, Neo in the movie Matrix. He sees everything's in ones and zeros, but instead of seeing ones and zeros, you just see these mass formation of lines that outline your body, that and your soul would be extremely bright. And things that resonate at a low frequency would be a little bit darker. Things that are at a higher frequency vibrate a little bit brighter. So I mean, there is no, the trap is basically all in our consciousness. Our physical minds create the trap, and it's the propaganda that we're taught from birth to today. It reinforces this blind illusion of this 3D matrix that we're told exists. In reality, that's the furthest from the truth. We are more energy. We are all energy.
right.
So,
But Caillou Harris was asking about, are animals also in his trap? Now, I remember part of the book. This is according to the book, so this is
right.
not my belief. This is according to the book, if it's true. When 3,000 of Errol's people were wiped out by a surprise attack in Himalayan mountains, they were caught in our reincarnation cycle of this planet. And Errol was explaining to Matilda that they'd never seen a system like this before, where when you're born, you don't remember your previous life. On other planets, that's what happens. You remember your previous life and you can continue your life's work. On this planet, our soul memories are temporarily erased and sent back to the planet. Now, Errol and his people have come back to try to locate their people in human bodies. And they have this this pine cone looking thing with a power pack, and Errol called that the tree of life, and that could identify souls. So they found the souls of their members, but they couldn't convince them who they were because they couldn't remember their past lives. But they said that Errol said that not only were they in the human population, but there were some of their members in the dolphins and in whales. So Caillou's question, according and having to do with the book Alien Interview, are animals caught up in the same prison planet that we're on? It looks like maybe, at least for the higher ones, the dolphins and the whales, which also, in my mind, opens up the possibility of when we come back, we might come back as a dolphin or a whale. Who knows?
And that's possibly true because, Aaron, don't you remember in when I was talking, you had Andrew on, and I called in one day and he was telling me in one of his past lives he was a dolphin and he remembers being a dolphin.
Yeah,
And that kind of hit me just now when you said that, because I just remembered that I knew he said that, but it's intriguing because he said he remembers being a dolphin, and he said he doesn't remember ever being like a cat or a dog, but he remembers being a dolphin at one point, so maybe, like if we're not human beings, like if we don't come back as humans, we might come back as something like a dolphin or a whale or something like that, some sort of other kind of life that's more on a higher spiritual plane.
Right.
Perhaps. I'm not sure. We don't know for sure.
Well, but we get our information from lots of different sources. I remember a Laurel and Hardy movie where Laurel and Hardy, they joined the French Foreign Legion because Hardy's girlfriend left him or something. And they end up trying to escape. They are in a biplane and all the knobs fall off and they're heading straight down. And so Stan Laurel asks Oliver Hardy, well, what do you want to come back as? He goes, I think I want to come back as a horse. What are you going to come back as, Stan? I want to come back as myself. And all of a sudden they crashed. Next thing you see is Stan Laurel walking down this dirt road, and there's this horse with a mustache and a hat, and the horse says, here's another fine mess you've gotten me into.
He should have said he wanted to come back as a self.
Right. That was pretty funny. But yeah, who knows if that book is true, but that's interesting. I had forgotten that Andrew had mentioned that. That's really interesting. So yeah, maybe we were dolphins at some point. Isn't that interesting to contemplate?
Oh, absolutely. When it comes to, there's a couple rules. Is like, and I'm trying to remember where it came from, but I can't off the top of my head. But they said that you can consume anything that gestates less than 32 days. Anything that gestates less than 32 days doesn't technically have a soul. Anything above that does. Anything longer than that does. So you could reincarnate into anything that gestates longer than 32 days. The main thing to remember is that all souls have a primary purpose for existence, and that is to witness, to experience a specific perspective. That's the foundation of existence, is to have a perspective of whatever. So if you're a fish, dolphin, cat, dog, each perspective is going to be completely different, and each one has its own limitations. When it comes to humans, we're at this point we're highly advanced, and a lot more advanced, and our perspective can be a lot greater than that of a cat or a dog or whatever. We also have we have the ability to influence the masses and change destiny and change our futures. But I think a lot of it has to go back to is trying to remember why you're here. And it's not, yes, you have your own perspective, but we all have our own missions. And the sooner we learn what our missions are, the faster we truly wake up to our purpose. And then, and I think it's about understanding what you are, what God is, getting to know God, and then taking that knowledge out into the world. And that's what I personally believe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. According to the book, now again, the book is not definitely true. There's a lot of things about it, but according to the book, this planet was set up as a prison planet for our souls to never escape from. And so our souls are given, after our memories are wiped, we're given a false duty or soul mission, and then put back on the planet into another being. So, yeah, I don't think any one thing is right and any other thing is wrong. I just think there's a lot of different different things out there.
Right. The sad part about it all is the fact that what they said in the book, if it's true, like that we do know that if we come back, our memory is erased, that we do have to go through some amnesia process that they put on us where we don't no longer remember our past lives. We might have little, spurts here and there, like that's what they call, I guess, deja vu, like where you might have a remembrance, you might be someone, like, I felt like I was here before, I did this, or I felt like I knew this person I was just talking to before, but you just can't put your finger on it. You just don't know how you know them, or where you was at. But it's a shame that we get our memory erased if that's true, and which I believe is true for some reason, because it's like, how can we ever get to the next level if our memory keeps getting erased? We got to always start from scratch. It's like someone getting left back in school, if you get left back and you have to repeat the class, you're going to maintain the knowledge you already got so far, you're just going to start off where you left off at. But in this case, if they keep erasing our memory, how are we going to start off where we left off? We got to keep starting from scratch. We got to learn how to crawl and learn how to walk and tie our shoes, go to the bathroom, having mommy wipe our behinds for us, and learn how to eat, food, and then hard food, and learn how to chew and all this nonsense. Learn how to go to school, learn what girls are. Oh, wow, why when she touched me, I feel like this, learning your first kiss, get your first heart broken, all this nonsense we got to go through every lifetime instead of just picking up where we left off at, Yeah, that's horrible.
Well, the idea of the trap really, and I think that's what their ultimate goal is the trap, because they've been messing with our genetics for a very long time. Our lifespans used to be into the thousands of years, and then it was cut down into the hundreds of years, and now less than 100. 40 years from now, are we going to live to 50? And how they've already reduced our DNA from 16 strands down to 2. So we are at the base level. You can't get any more less functional than we already are. So if we can't break from this system or this trap, in these next few cycles, I don't know if there's any saving. I don't know what's going to happen. That's why this movement to get rid of the deep state is so damned important, because it's only darkness if they win. We've got to bring light back to this country and light back to people of this world. And then we've got to try to undo all the damage that they've done over the past several 100,000 years, which isn't going to happen overnight. This whole Q movement is driving half of us completely mad, because we have all the evidence. Let's just take care of it. But it's about, getting the rest of the people to wake up and, C before D. We've always been, this popped up in the thing, Canada before D class, or Canada before DC. So, anyway, I'm just happy to see everything pushing in a forward momentum. More and more light is shown onto the world, and more people are waking up, and our family is growing. And I get so emotional watching, what's going on with the Canadians. It really lets you know that humanity is not dead. Humanity is very much alive, and we very much are the masses. There are so much more of us with hearts, with love, with compassion, who are truly human, versus those who are not, who are careless and left, and sticking to the far left, and pushing the retardation of their brainwashing. So we may feel alone at times, but just watch a Trump rally, watch a Patriot Convoy rally, get out and say hi to your neighbors, and you'll realize that you are not alone. Of course, coming to these chats and channels, you realize you're not alone either. Like you said, we're family. We've always been family, and our family doesn't have limits. It just grows, and we get to know each and every one of them as on a personal level the best we can. And that's why I push people to answer my emails and to email me, so I can get to know them personally, and share their soul, with the rest of, in my adventures in this life. And they get a little bit more about me. I mean, I know I come on and have my conversations with Aaron and you and a lot of the other channels. So people get to know me, without actually talking to me, but I do kind of like to hear their side of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you mentioned Q, I popped up this little meme I had here in the waiting. Someone trying to debunk Q who learned about it on Wikipedia. It's Bert, and then the count is like he's zapping him like. I love that one.
Oh, that's awesome.
There are so many Sesame Street memes that make sense for the whole Q movement. It's very cool. Very cool.
And like I was like you saying, Aaron, if that is true, that's in the book. The old empire is incredibly wicked.
Yes,
they're wicked, sinister people, sinister.
Yeah,
but on a different note, but still sort of like, I guess, connected in a way, we do have to try to figure a way, how to get out the clutches of the deep state. But the sad thing is, like, in the future coming soon, there's going to be no more, like, how the Federal Reserve Act, people was getting mad at that. That should have never been signed in 1913 by President Woodrow Wilson. Never. But it's about to get worse soon, because all money is about to go digital currency. We no longer. I'm not even talking about Bitcoin. Everything is going to go digital. We won't have money in our pockets. We will have digital currency. It'll be a central bank digital currency. It won't be like Bitcoin or some private coin.
Right.
Not no private coin. This would be a nationally issued or internationally sanctioned currency. The digital currency, it's not an awful lot different from credit card money, but which is digital also. But in this case, once they achieve their goal, there will be no more credit cards to speak. The systems of money will be replaced by one monopolistic, one world monetary system, and it will be totally controlled by the banks, not the governments, the banks. Yeah. And every transaction you make will have to go through the digital currency owned by the central banks. The difference between that is that you'll have no other place to go without permission from the banks, because it has to clear through their computers. Now, if they don't like you for any reason, they can just throw a switch and you won't have no currency. Well, see, no money, no currency. So they won't like me. They won't like you. They won't like nobody in the chat because we're patriots. So they have a reason why they'll be disgusted and not want to give us anything.
Right. Well,
that's horrible.
That's what we're fighting for. This whole new currency system that we're looking at, I have a feeling what they're going to do is each state, there's going to be basically a kind of a global currency. It's going to be a gold-backed currency. Each state is going to have their own version of this currency with their own pictures on it, but they're all going to be, the currency is going to have gold in it. And each of these gold notes are going to have a serial number that has a digital representation of it. So you can take the money out of your wallet, type in the codes, and then you can buy something online, and then then you mail the currency to them or something like that. Anyway, but they're supposed to, it's you got to have the physical currency, and they've got to have it to where they can't take it away from you. But I think there is a, I don't know if they're going to use what are those barcodes or something where you get the square ones where you can take a picture of it and
QR code. QR code.
Yeah, the QR code. I think they're going to have something like that on it to where it can be utilized. Your physical cash can be utilized to buy something online, and then you just have to send it in or submit it to a bank or something. Not sure how that aspect of it's going to go, but now we got to, that's the whole point. We got to have currency in our hands. So when markets crash, and they've got to be of some kind of precious metal, so they maintain their value regardless of the state of the nation, state of the state, especially if states break off or, whatever happens, or natural disaster, your currency still has value. That's the whole point of getting away from this beast system, because they don't want us to have anything, and they want us to, control everything that we do, which is why they're pushing the Bitcoin and the digital currency. They don't want a paper currency. They don't want any type of physical currency, because you're not supposed to own anything, and you're supposed to be happy.
Yeah, well, Schwab can take.
Screw them. So screw them.
It's just another way of trying to control us.
You can grow money. You can grow money by planting your own food and growing your own food. That's just like making your own money. And then they can't control that. I want to get a banana tree. That's what I want to get.
Well, start with pineapples first. Pineapples are great. You just cut the top off of it, put it in some dirt, put it in your yard, and in a few years you'll have a massive pineapple tree that they're really cool looking. Anyway, and you'll have a bunch of pineapples.
Well, not here in Wisconsin. I don't think that would work outside, but maybe inside it would.
Maybe inside. The guy I was watching growing up, he lived up north, so that they do all right in the cold as long as it doesn't get too freezing. He says he just throws plastic over them and they're good to go.
Interesting. Yeah.
I've got a couple pineapple plants started. I started this year, so and they grew. I'm excited.
That's really cool. Cabbage is the same way. When you're done eating the cabbage, you take the core of it and you put it in water, and it grows little
cabbage, onions,
grows new leaves.
Yeah, we do. We always do it with our onions. Just cut the bottom of it off, put it in a little glass filled with water, and it'll start rooting, and then you just transplant it. And I think we've got 15 or 20 onions growing over there.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, grow your own food. That's the way. That's one of the ways out of this, where you don't have to worry about supply chains and all this stuff if you're growing your own food, or at least some of it, right?
Yeah, and it helps, but I mean, you can never grow enough to actually feed your family unless you have, a large plot of land with enough fruits and vegetables, to feed your family on a regular basis. But then you've got to learn to fermentate your food and store it, and and then you got to have extras to sell, because they only harvest them once or twice a year, and then you're screwed.
Yeah.
So that's why local farms are so important, and I can't wait to get back to them.
Well, growing your own food is cool, and while you're waiting for it to grow so you can eat it, that's your fasting.
That's your bad. That's great. That's great.
But they shouldn't call it fasting. They should call it slowing, because if you've ever fasted, time goes very slow. So they should call it slowing, not fasting.
Yeah. Slowing, eh?
It's very healthy for you to fast, but not too often, I guess, not for too long.
Well, I don't, I've never fasted from food, but I fast from habits. So the only habit that's so cut soda out of your diet if you have a habit of drinking that, and for 10 days to 100 days or however long you want to do it. And cycle through it so you're not stuck in specific routines. And it's good to sacrifice things that you find enjoyable in your life so you can learn something else, find something else to replace it with. And I look at it like that. But on the health perspective, yeah, I gotta fast.
Yeah, I haven't drank soda in decades. But I used to drink Barks root beer all the time. All the time, I drank Barks root beer, and
They are.
it's a good root beer. But I drank it all the time. I always had a Barks root beer in my hand, and then one day I got a Barks root beer out of a bottle, one of those plastic bottles, out of a machine at Walmart here in Sturgeon Bay. And I took one sip of it, and I went, ew. This is back in the 90s, late 90s. It tastes a little off. I looked at it, and the UPC code was X'd out with a red marker, and it was beyond the date. It was past the date where it was good.
Right.
I called the bottling company, which was in Green Bay, south of here, and I just wanted to let them know, hey, look, I found this in the machine. You might want to know. Oh my goodness! Thank you for telling us. They were like so happy. They sent me a coupon for 10 free 8-packs of Barks.
Wow.
10 free 8-packs.
Well, that was worth the time.
After I was done drinking that, I couldn't drink it anymore, and I was done with soda. Done.
So what is your favorite drink?
Water or coffee?
Water
That's all I drink. Water or coffee.
Well, I was gonna suggest dandelion tea is absolutely delicious, and you can buy little packs and just add some hot water and a touch of honey, and delicious.
That hot water soup is actually awfully good too. Give me some of that hot water soup. That's pretty good. Good stuff.
What's inside of it? Just hot water?
It says hot water. My dad used to say that he was so poor when he was young that they had potato soup without the potato. So pretty much hot water soup.
Yeah, I wasn't the most fortunate one growing up. When I lived with my uncle, and times got hard, a lot of our meals were cornmeal batter, deep fried.
Mm-hmm.
So you take cornmeal, you add a little bit of water to mix it up, and then you pour that batter into grease, and then you fry it up and you eat that.
Wow.
And that's what we survived on for many years.
Yeah. We had hot dish. What's for dinner tonight? Hot dish. Oh, okay. But you didn't know if it was tuna hot dish or hamburger hot dish. You didn't know what it was, but it was hot dish.
Hot or cold, huh?
It was always hot. Yeah, hot dish. In a casserole. Any kind of casserole that's in the Midwest, they call that hot dish. Yeah. Any kind of casserole. But
yeah.
But yeah, and a lot of times it was chicken on Friday and feathers for the rest of the week, right?
Feathers for the rest of the week, yeah.
Feathers for the rest of the week. But yeah, I don't eat very much anymore. I eat a banana every morning, and I have some oatmeal, and then I eat some fruit, and a little bit of dried cereal, and a nice little organic dinner, meat-free. So that's
wow,
all I eat.
That's impressive. My wife makes me bacon and eggs and hash browns every morning. So
yeah, that's
whatever we can find at night. So, steak, corn. There'll be either steak and corn and mashed potatoes, or uh, what did she make the other night? Spinach raviolis with her homemade marinara sauce. That was good.
Sounds good. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's one of the benefits of having a wife that cooks. You're lucky.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. I had an ex-girlfriend that was a really excellent cook. So yeah, I know what you're talking about there. But yeah, I really don't eat much. And if there's that guy, he's on the internet on YouTube. He's a holy man from India, and he claims that he hasn't eaten anything in over 70 years or drank anything. That a goddess came to him in the forest, taught him how to live without eating or drinking. He just stares at the sun for 40 minutes a day, either in the early morning or the late at night, where the sun doesn't affect your eyes as much. And a sweet, sticky substance comes from the roof of his mouth, and that's what he subsists on. So it's energy from the sun. And they put him in a hospital, so because they wanted to study him, and for 10 days he didn't eat anything, didn't drink anything. He was very skinny. He was in his 80s, but he had all of the brain and the organs of a 25-year-old.
Wow.
And he was super healthy. And that's it.
I remember,
like his face looked like that of an 80-year-old man, you said? And his body was still old, but just his organs young?
Yeah, he was very skinny and he looked old, but inside his organs were all perfect.
So yeah, I can tell you, he had to be skinny. Probably weigh what, 1 pound?
Yeah, he's pretty skinny. Yeah, I don't know. You can
2 pounds, maybe weigh 2 pounds, maybe.
The nice thing about YouTube is you can just type in a phrase, Indian man who hasn't eaten anything in 70 years, and you can find it. I mean, that's the wonder of these search engines. You can find it. So I don't have to really remember the guy's name because Google carries all that information for me, so I don't need to remember it. And,
yeah.
And
thing about Google
and DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
You could see more. You could find more information on DuckDuckGo than Google.
Yeah.
It's better.
Yeah.
And if you use a Brave browser, you get no ads, no pop-ups. It's got a built-in VPN, and all your data stays and your web history stays secure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's something I got to remember right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brave browsers, one of the best browsers, one of the best secure browsers on the internet right now. And they came out with a newer version of it last year, but I haven't checked it out yet. But yeah, I've been using Brave for years, and I never, I have 3 different browsers that I bounce between depending on what I'm doing. But most of the time I stick with Brave. You can watch a YouTube video, you get no ads ever, which is great, especially when you watch a lot of YouTube videos or other videos that have a lot of ads.
Wow.
Brave browser gets rid of them for you, so you can just watch your show in peace.
Wow. Speaking of browsers, here's one I think that is an interesting one that we should all check out. Now, here's a browser that you can really hang your hat on. Take a look at those brows. It's the eyebrow queen again. She's back.
Wow.
Wonder what kind of statement she's making.
Well, it's a very poignant statement, and that is, if you're going to do eyebrows,
go big.
Consult the eyebrow queen, because she does them fabulously.
That's funny.
That's funny. Wow.
I just love that. And she's such a pretty girl, too. She's a very, very pretty girl. I mean, you almost know what she looks like with bangs, too.
Right.
Yeah. So there she is. That's my favorite browser.
That's funny. Let's see. What am I looking for? I'm always looking for something, and it's always out of reach.
Uh-oh. Yeah. It's hard to keep everything within reach, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'm always moving around, and nothing's ever in the same place twice.
Oh, Mad Posh says dad joke in 543. Mad Posh knew. Yeah.
He said he knew he was coming with a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but the laughter's good. It helps.
It really does. The more you can laugh, the better. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew so many jokes when I was younger. I still remember them. I just don't be telling them because I don't know too many people who would, everybody's so stuck up and nowadays and don't want to laugh, People don't want to try to find a little humor sometimes, cheer you up.
Right. So. Well, jokes sometimes can get you in trouble. Like my dentist got in trouble for telling jokes.
Wow.
He pulled too many good ones.
Yeah, you need that machine, right? You
need
that snare machine.
Some of the best jokes in the world are Boudreaux and Thibodeau jokes.
The what?
So you gotta look up Boudreaux and Thibodeau jokes.
I've never heard of those.
Some of the best jokes in the world.
Boudreaux and Thibodeau. So what nationality is that? Boudreaux and
it's just Louisiana Cajun jokes.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Louisiana's version of the redneck.
Okay.
But there's some funny ones. Oh my goodness. And I wish I could remember them, but they're all story based. So, you got to remember the story. You got to write it down, and you got to, and then a good Boudreaux and Thibodeau joke has everything to do with the accent that it's told, and the punctuation. How it's emphasized. So,
okay.
But there's a few decent ones online.
Are you going to give us an example?
Oh no, you're just going to have to research these on your own.
Okay. All right.
Well, if I remembered them, I could tell you them, but there's just too many. And like I said, to be a good joke teller, you gotta know the story well enough. And I don't have all that. And there you go. Austin Morris spelled it out for you. Boudreaux and Thibodeau, that's correct spelling.
Okay. And Mud Rabbit is talking about A and AB make perfect vegetarians. As are meat eaters. Yeah, I'm AB negative and I don't eat meat. In fact, if I did eat meat, I have a high chance of getting stomach cancer because I don't produce enough acid to break down that meat. So I'm lucky I stopped eating meat when I did. I didn't even know that when I stopped.
So what's your blood type, Aaron?
AB negative.
Oh, so people AB negative shouldn't eat a lot of meat?
Well, I guess A or B or AB negative or even positive. You don't have as much. You don't have enough strong acid in your stomach to break down the meat, and it goes into your lower intestines and can cause all kinds of ailments and nasty.
Yeah.
It's going through not broken down. So there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of jokes like the Ollie and what's the other one? The Norwegian Ollie and Sven and Ollie. Yeah, there's a lot of those type of jokes, Sven and Ollie. I've heard a lot of those up in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh,
I still know a lot of them. I still remember a lot from a while back. They're like the ones that you tell a story, like the guy walks into a bar, things like that. Those kind. I remember those.
Yeah.
A lot of those ones. Yeah. A lot of them really funny still.
Yeah. 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 A lot of funny jokes.
Yeah. What was it? I had one when a guy walked in a bar. I can't remember. Okay. This guy walks into a bar, right? And he sits down. He says, "Look, he told the bartender, drinks for everybody in the house, including you." It's on me. So everybody goes, yeah, everybody drinking, he pours up things, everybody laughing, they telling stories, they sit, they singing, they just having a ball getting blasted. So about an hour later, hour and a half later, the bartender says, listen, he says, hey, that's gonna be let me see, counts all the people, adds it up. He said, that's gonna be like $900, right? Because there's a lot of people, he's ordering more rounds, and he says, yeah, the guy goes, all right. So he reaches in his pocket, he says, look, oh snap. He said, damn, I ain't got no money. So he goes, what? He said, I ain't got no money. I'm sorry. So he takes him out. He beats him up, throws him out. And he said, don't you ever come back in here again. The next day, the guy comes back in. He has like bruises on his face, black eye, and then stuff like that, swollen face. So he sits down again. And the guy goes, didn't I just tell you don't go? He said, you know what? He said, I'm curious to know, you got balls. He said, what you come back here for? He said, listen, man, I'm sorry about yesterday. I'm really sorry. I wasn't in my right state of mind. I'll make it up to you right now. I got money for real. Drinks on everybody in the house, including you, okay? So he does it again. He pours it up. Everybody's in there drinking, they laughing, they having fun. An hour later, he goes to the guy, he says, listen, it's going to be the same amount as yesterday. Plus you owe me from yesterday. You got that? He said, don't worry, I got you. Here, I'm going to give it to you right now. And he says, oh, snap, I'm sorry, I don't have no money. So he picks the guy up again. He takes a bat. He takes him out the back. He just beats him mercilessly. Like,
oh my.
He says, if you come here again, you crazy, I will kill you. He said, you hear me? If I see you even on the street, I'll kill you. And then the guy just crawls away. He can't even get up. Very next day, the guy comes back in. He's like got crutches. He has a cast on his arm. His teeth is missing. Both his eyes are black. He got something around his neck. Like he comes and God goes, oh, this guy really is insane, He said, nah. He said, you know what? I'm not even going to kill him. This guy's hilarious. Let me see what he's going to do this time. So the guy sits down at the bar. He says, listen, drinks for everybody in the house except for you, because you get violent when you drink.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That's one I knew from a long time ago. Yeah.
That reminds me that this guy walks into a bar and it's like an empty bar, but he hears all these voices like, hey, nice tie. Hey, cool hair. You're dressing snappy today. He's looking around. Bartender comes over and goes, what do you have? I'll have a beer, but I keep hearing these really nice things. Someone's saying nice things to me, but I don't see anybody. I don't understand. Where are those voices coming from? And the bartender says, oh, that's the peanuts. They're complimentary. Complimentary.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Hey, what did the ocean say to the other ocean?
I don't know. What did the ocean say to the other ocean?
Nothing. He just waved. Yeah.
I think I've heard that one before.
Yeah, it probably did.
I like that. I like clean jokes. Clean
Yeah.
jokes.
No dirty, but clean, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I got one that's a little dirty, but I'd rather not say it.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really dirty, but it's kind of funny, but you may have heard it anyway.
Now you got my curiosity going. I think you might have to do it.
Okay, I'll tell you. It's a quick one.
All right.
This guy, he tells this guy, he says, listen, he said, hey, you want to see something crazy? He says, yeah. He says, I bet you $50. No, $80. He said, I bet you $80 I could make that horse over there laugh, right?
Okay.
And he says, how? He said, don't worry about it. You got $80? He said, yeah. He said, show it to me. And he said, okay, hold that. I'll be right back. So if I make him laugh, he's going to give it to me. He said, yeah. He said, all right, hold on. So he went over to the horse and he sees him whispering and saying something to the horse's ear. And the horse just looks at him, nothing strange. And all of a sudden, the horse just started laughing. The horse fell on the floor, actually started laughing. So the guy's in shock. He walks over back to the guy. He says, listen, I just made him laugh. He said, how did you do that? He said, don't worry about it. Give me my $80. So he gave him the $80. And he said, I tell you what, for another $80, I bet you I can make that same horse cry. He said, nah, you got to be kidding me. How you going to make him cry? He said, just watch it. You got another 80? He said, yeah. He said, all right. So if I make him cry, you going to give it to me? He said, yeah. So, all right. So he walks over there and he whispers to the horse. And then he like stands in front of the horse so where the guy can't see. And all of a sudden the horse just drops to the ground and starts crying. The horse is pounding on the ground, just crying like a baby. Tears are really coming out the horse's eyes. Then the guy goes back over to him. He says, now give me my $80. The guy goes, wait a minute. You got to tell me first, man. First you made the horse laugh, then you made him cry. How'd you do this? He said, you got to tell me, please. And he says, all right, give me my $80 first. So he gives it to him. He says, okay. When I went over there and I told you I was going to make him laugh, I told him that I bet you my dick is bigger than yours, right? So he says, no. And he started laughing. So then he said, how'd you make him cry? He said, because when I went back over there, I showed him. And he started crying.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Yeah, that's the joke, you know?
All right. You got any jokes, Carl?
I was thinking, if you get me on your mama so fat jokes, I can go all day. And fart jokes are always the best. But yeah, those are great stories. I've heard them a few times over the years. Unfortunately, I don't have any right now.
Okay.
Not any good long ones anyway.
All right. Yeah. Some of the long ones are. Oh, Sopranos fan 11 is in the chat. Hello there. And Youngstar God. Yeah. Cool name.
Yeah. Yeah, I shouldn't have really. I didn't really like to tell that the dirty ones. I don't really like those, but I got one last one, a clean one, right?
All right.
Hey, listen, these three guys, right? It was a storm outside at night. They was walking through the woods and it was pouring rain. It was like a monsoon. They needed shelter. So it's like they're getting soaked. So they see this house and they said, let's knock on that door. Maybe they'll be kind enough to let us stay there just till the rain stop. So they knocked on the door. The guy opens the door and he had a shotgun in his hand. And they assuming this is his house and he's just like a farmer or whatever. So they asked him, he's like, listen, mister, I'm sorry to bother you. I know you don't know us, but it's pouring rain and we don't have no shelter. Can we just come here and just at least sit down until the rain stops? I know it's soaking wet and we'll leave the first thing the rain stops. And the guy goes, all right, come on in. So he lets them sit there and he said, you guys got to sit on the floor though. He said, all right. He said, listen, as soon as the rain stops, in a couple hours, probably, he said, you guys got to go. He said, we sure will. First thing is stop. We won't make no noise. We won't bother you nothing. He said, all right, just stay here. I'll get you some towels. So he gets some towels, dry off. And so he says, okay, as soon as that rain stops, you guys got to go. He says, okay. So he starts to go back upstairs. And he said, listen, one last thing. If any of you go upstairs to try to sneak in the room, he said, I have a daughter up there. And I don't want you try to sneak in up there trying to do something to her. He said, if I catch you, I'm going to shoot you and kill you. He says, no, we ain't even thinking of like that. We're going to sit right here till the rain stops. All right, don't let me catch you up there. So then he goes back upstairs. So the guy, one of the guys, the one who initiated them to go to the house says, listen, you know, I'm kind of thinking about going upstairs and sneaking in the room to get his daughter, you know? So he says, you just heard what he said. He got a shotgun. He said, no, come on, I'm smart. I know what I'm doing. He said, I'll be right back. He said, no. He said, I'll be right back. So he goes up the stairs. Once he gets to the top step, you know, he steps on the top steps and it makes some sort of creaking noise, a crack, like because of the wood. And so like that. And then all of a sudden he hears a door open and he hears this farmer cock his shotgun. Who's there? So he runs, he jumps behind the wall that's right there by the stairs. He hides behind the wall and he goes, meow, meow, like a cat. And then so the farmer goes, oh, it's just a cat. All right. So he closes the door and the guy goes in the room with the daughter. He finds her and does something. He comes back out and he goes downstairs. So he says, yo, did you make it? He said, yeah, I did it. But at the top of the steps, it made some sort of noise and almost got caught. So, you know, I just hid behind the wall and acted like a cat. And he says, he came out with the shotgun, but he didn't see me. So I ran in and did something with it. Come on, let's go to sleep. Let's try to get some sleep before this rain ends. And so the second guy goes, I want to go try it too. So he said, no, don't do it. You don't push your luck. He said, no, if you did it, I could do it. So he ran up the stairs. When he got to the top of the steps, made a noise. And then the farmer opens the door, cocks his gun. Who's there? And he hides behind the wall and he makes a noise like a cat. He goes, meow, meow. And so the farmer goes, that's the cat again. So he closes the door. The guy goes in the room, finds the daughter, does the same thing. He comes out, runs back downstairs, and he says, okay, I did it too. He said, did he come out? He said, yeah. And I hid behind the wall and acted like a cat, and it worked. Yeah, you was right. Come on, let's just rest for a little bit. Let's go to sleep. So the last guy, he's just sitting there. He's like, damn, I want to go too. And they said, nah, we pushing it, man. Don't do it. Just forget it. He said, yeah, you're right. Then he goes, no, I got to go. He said, no, you're going to mess it up. No, I know what I'm doing. When you get to the top of the steps, if it makes some sort of noise, just hide behind the wall and act like a cat. I've got it. So he goes up there. When he gets to the top, same thing happens. He steps on the creek, makes a noise. Farmer opens the door, cocks his gun. Who's there? Somebody trying to go in and sleep with my daughter? Guy hides behind the wall. He goes, no, don't shoot. It's me, the cat. That's the joke.
Okay. Yeah, I think I heard that one before.
You might have heard that one.
Yeah.
That's just bad. That's bad.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. Okay. All right. I'm checking the chat here to see what's happening.
Well, Young Star likes it. She keeps going meow, 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 meow.
Okay. Yeah, there she is. Meow, meow. And is that a she, Young Star? I can't tell. Oh, there's a cat.
Yeah, that's my giant lazy cat. Look at the size of this kitty.
Yeah. Wow.
He was a baby at one time, and he's grown quite a bit.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know, I think he's 5 years old now. He's getting big.
Yeah. And I as you can hear, there's no dogs here anymore. So thankfully,
Oh, congratulations.
the dogs
No.
are gone. And I'm happy about that.
Those were your dogs, Aaron?
No, they were my son's dogs.
Oh.
Yeah. So I agreed to watch them temporarily for a couple of weeks. So 10 months later, they were gone. So yeah, there you go.
You agreed to watch them for 2 weeks, and 6 months later they were gone.
Yep. Yeah.
That's how pet sitting goes.
Yeah, it's pets are great if you are ready for them and want them around. But if you don't want them around and you have to take care of them, it can be problematic.
Yeah, it could be a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Sorry.
used to have a lot of exotic pets.
Yeah.
Andy was asking, let's see the Doberman again. And he went to the other room. So I had to chase him down. Only got 2 cats. Well, 1 cat now in the room with.
2 cats. You have 2 cats and a dog?
Now I got 2 Dobermans and 4 cats.
Okay.
And about 30.
Doberman pinchers.
Yeah. Yeah, Doberman pinchers. Yeah, I had one sitting next to me earlier.
Okay.
I put him on. You have to
Those
go
are
back.
Good looking dogs. Did they have their ears clipped?
No. I just docked their tails when they were babies, but their ears are still natural.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do they chop the tails off of those dogs? What is the thinking behind that? I don't,
Well, they have very strong, powerful tail. Number one. So it's unfortunately it's all about the what people think the Doberman should look like. The intimidation factor is the dock tail and the cut ears. For health reasons, it's not healthy for the animal. So there's really no point in doing it. And the animals are protective in nature. So their bark and teeth kind of do that. So they don't need to look, in my personal opinion, they don't need to have the body cropping. The tails I do agree with, because they are fanatical table cleaners. If that tail gets going, there's nothing to stop it.
Okay. Oh, Young Star just said, truth question there, Moriarty. I am a male, 29 years old. Okay.
All right.
Young Star is a male. Okay. Now, there was someone named Young Star God. Is that a different person? Must be a different person. I don't know. Yeah, leave the ears alone. Yeah, I used to have a paper route. One of my customers on my paper route, they raised Dobermans, and they had the puppies all ears clipped and tails clipped, but they had to send one of them back because they had to get one more vertebrae out of the tail. It's like, oh my God, I felt so bad for that dog.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
bad.
We did these Doberman's father, I had his ears done, and he had the long show cut. So his ears stood extremely tall and upright. And we had to get plastic stents put in to keep them to stand up.
Oh, man.
Got a raccoon out my window.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, y'all want to see a raccoon?
Sure.
All right.
Is he friendly?
Yeah. Oh, I scared him. There he goes. He's running on the bridge. He took off onto the bridge.
Okay.
Well, no, they're wild raccoons. I mean, we have cat food out for them because it's sub-degree temperatures outside, or, it's 25 degrees, I think. So during the cold weather, we put food out for any strays that are out there so they can stay warm.
That's nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's so hard for those animals to find food, in the winter time. Are you in the cold by the snow and stuff?
No, I'm in North Louisiana, and it normally doesn't snow here, but we did get a snow 2 weeks ago, I think.
Okay.
So, right now it's, I think it was 28 degrees by my thermostat.
Are you near Shreveport?
Yes, I am very close to Shreveport, about an hour east of it.
Now, I think my mom said that the first time that her and her friends heard Elvis Presley was on a radio broadcast from the South. And it might be from Shreveport or someplace like that, where they had a very powerful radio station. It went all over the whole country. So before he was on TV, that's how they heard about him, through that radio station. So that's interesting.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. Elvis is always, like I said, Elvis, my biggest introduction to Elvis is when I was 18 and went to Okinawa, Japan. And, had a sergeant take me out and show me the proper bars to go to. And every bar we went to was karaoke, and everybody sang Elvis Presley. So I got to learn a lot about Elvis in Okinawa, Japan.
Wow.
Cool. Wow. Hey, Aaron.
Yes.
Did you know that Elvis, other entertainers like Buddy Holly, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, and Fats Domino, artists like that, during that era, they were like the last of the great kind of artists?
I think so too, yeah.
They were like the last great ones, because after that era, in the late 50s, the music became controlled by the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Those were the last pure artists. Once the Beatles came on stage and the music started changing, it was controlled by the Illuminati and the Freemasonry.
Yeah.
All made to control the youth, the teenagers, to brainwash them into using drugs, alcohol, violence, sex, things like that, hitting messages and songs. Now, look how it's gotten so controlled by them that now they don't even hide the messages. It's not even subliminal no more. It's out there.
I
They
know.
still control it.
It's really sad, you know. And the word rock and roll, that was a slang word that at the time meant sex, rock and roll.
Yeah.
So, hey, baby, you want to rock and roll? That's what it meant. So,
Well, I have one fun story from Okinawa, Japan. And
Yes.
Okinawa was great. I was stationed up there at Camp Hansen, which is northern Okinawa, right outside of Kinblue. And so I'd learned to snorkel, and was one of my daily routines. Now, anytime you're in a foreign country, you're not supposed to go anywhere by yourself, supposed to have the buddy system, but yeah, who cares about that, right? So I go snorkeling one day, and they had just caught the largest great white shark in history off rod and reel, right where I was snorkeling. And the water there is crystal clear, and everything in that water is designed to kill you. I learned that. They're all extremely beautiful, and the more beautiful the fish is, the deadlier it is. So the lionfish were all up along the banks, and so anyway, I went to my local dive spot, and at the top of the hill, behind a bush, I lifted a rock, put my bag down, put the rock back on it, climbed down in my wetsuit with my flippers on, got into the water, and started snorkeling out. And then I just kind of got caught in a current, and I just kind of drifted. And what I was looking for is a really large fish. I wanted to see something really big, something intimidating or really cool. So I was drifting along, and you'd go over these coral heads, and they're built like mushrooms. So they have a skinny stalk, but then they broaden out really, really wide on the surface. And that's where you get to see the clownfish and the puffer fish and everything. And it's just beautiful. So I'm just floating in the current, watching, looking up and around these coral heads. And about a half hour, 45 minutes gone by at least. And I decided to, I came across this one coral head, and then it disappeared. And all I could see, I couldn't see the bottom anymore. It was just black underneath me. And so I got to look, and then I saw in front of me a stalk of one of these corals. And I was looking, I was like, good God, that's got to be at least 100 feet tall. And then the coral head came up probably 15, 20, or 20 to 30 feet below me. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm really out here in the deep water. And then I saw its shadow. And this shadow was close to 20 feet long. This thing was massive underneath me. I didn't get to see the fish. I just saw the shadow. So I popped my head up out of the water, and I looked to my left, and I looked to my right, and I straightened my body, and I stood up, and I looked to my left, and I spun all the way around, and I couldn't see land in any direction.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh crap. So with my flippers straight down, I took my goggles off and threw them 15, 20 feet in front of me. And I watched my goggles. And I'm telling you, I could see no islands, no nothing. I'm just out in the middle of the damn ocean, caught up in this rip current. And I got to watching. And so I was with my feet down, my feet were more in the current than the goggles were. So I just waited 5 or 10 minutes and saw how much I drifted away from my goggles. And then I swam, I cut that angle in half and grabbed my goggles and took off swimming the other way. But it was the first time I realized that when you wear goggles, you lose your peripheral vision, and you can only see what's directly in front of your eyes. So you can't see what's to the left of your head or to the right of your head, and you can't see what's coming up behind you. It's the first time in my life I ever actually had a panic attack, because, that shadow I saw, it reminded me of the great white that was just caught there near, the day before.
Right.
And it took me almost 2.5 hours of swimming constantly.
Wow.
Before I got to see land. And then once I saw land, I just kind of picked a cove and swam to it. So it took me almost 3 hours to get back to shore. And the funny thing is I landed a few hundred yards away from where I launched. I left. But somebody obviously wanted to get into the water because they saw where I stored my gear, and they confiscated my bag and took the money I had in my wallet out, put the wallet back in the bag, and then threw the bag in the ocean.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was nice, but yeah, I got to swim in the middle of the what is it, the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean? I can't remember. Anyway, but
could you be more specific about that?
yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I got lost at sea snorkeling by myself. Yeah.
Wow. It can happen.
Yes.
Luckily, you had the presence of mind to do that with your goggles. When you said you threw your goggles, I had no idea why you did it, but you're seeing where the current was going and you went the opposite way. That's pretty smart.
Yeah, I had to, I put my body vertical, so I would have more, the current would have more pull on me than it would the goggles. So the goggles was, my stationary point that I could watch. And then I used like I said, I used my body and the direction I was drifting as a compass.
Okay.
So
Andy Social has a very interesting question. Did you find Gilligan? Did you find Gilligan?
I'm lucky I found land. I'm like, I said, if I overshoot, I have like a 35% chance of finding one of the scattered islands that are outside of Okinawa. But, later on, thanks to Google Earth, I looked at where I drifted, and that was about a 10% chance, because if I would have swam any other direction than I did, then I would have missed the island completely, and I would have been really screwed.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I had a hole in my wetsuit, which is the only reason, I felt my core temperature dropping, which is really the only reason I ever took my head up out of the water, because I noticed I was getting a little cold.
Oh, no.
And, it was in March, so the water was still pretty cold. But yeah, that was my fun adventure in Okinawa.
Interesting.
Well, one of them. It was pretty fun. Let's see. Flying creatures. The pterosaurs were as large as Piper airplanes. That's not impossible now. There are reports of pterodactyls here in Louisiana.
Really?
I've heard. Yeah, I haven't seen any pictures, but I've heard a lot of reports that people are seeing pterodactyls flying over the woods. And by the time they get their cameras or whatnot, they're out of sight. And they're saying these things are massive. So not too surprised. I mean, there's still a lot of undiscovered country here in the United States.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah, I heard a lot of sightings of those pterosaurs throughout. They see them in certain areas and in the west and in some parts of the south, but mostly in the west. They seem like a lot of sightings of those things. I remember it was a famous sighting in the late 1800s. One of these things, I think these two guys shot one. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking about these dinosaurs that are entering our realms, and I've seen a couple of videos of what were they, velociraptors jumping through a portal and onto this next to this gully and next to this field, and it just appeared out of nowhere. One, and then a couple seconds later another one just appeared, and then they ran off into the woods. But there's a lot of information out there that these portals are all over the place. And anyway, I think they're just dimensional portals, a section of space that vibrates at just the right frequency that connects to two different dimensions. And these prehistoric creatures are entering our dimension and then flying out through another one. And they may be able to see them. I mean, our eyesight's really horrible, but they may have a spectrum to where they can see where these portals open and close. So that's something that would be kind of cool to know.
Land of the Lost, right?
The Land of the Lost, absolutely.
I'm trying to get that the father from Land of the Lost here on the show because he lives in town here in Sturgeon Bay. I met him at the post office once. Super nice guy.
You ever mentioned to him about coming on the show?
I messaged him on Facebook. I have not heard back from him. I'll have to try another way of contacting him.
You're talking about the actor that played him, or the
Yeah,
author?
the actor. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, which one? Because there's been a few.
No, the original series from the 70s.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you he would have some fun stories.
He's very active in the acting community up here. There's a playhouse, Third Avenue Playhouse, and there's a lot of acting and plays going on a lot, and he's very active in that. So, super nice guy too. I met him at the post office. I didn't know who he was. We started talking, and he told me who he was. Wow, I heard you lived here. I'd never met you. That's awesome.
Well, my wife's pretty excited. Our next door neighbor is the granddaughter of Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Wow.
And my wife is a huge Little House on the Prairie fan.
Uh-huh.
And,
yeah.
So our neighbor is Ann Wilder.
Nice.
And she's a trip. She's pretty awesome.
Interesting. Ann Wilder. That's a good name.
Wow. You know the girl that used to play on Laura Ingalls on the TV show?
Uh-huh.
When I was younger, I used to have a crush on her. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, really?
He turned into a woman when she finally grew up.
Yeah. Like when I was, a little short guy, I had a crush on her. I was like, oh, she's so cute. I wish I could meet her in real life. But then when she got older, I was like, no, I liked her when she was younger because I was younger, So I was like, it faded away.
Yeah.
It happens.
I had a chance to meet Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island. And I didn't go to her book signing in Green Bay when she was here. She's passed away now. There's only one Gilligan's Island person left, and that's Ginger.
Oh, wow.
She's the only one left alive, and she's on that island.
Wait, she's still on the island, right?
Must be, If you get a boat, Mr. Harris, maybe you could find her.
Yeah. Hey, it's only one monkey left too from the TV show Monkeys.
Oh, wow.
The monkeys, hey, with the monkeys, remember?
Yeah.
There's only one monkey left.
Only one monkey left.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the last one died the end of last year, December.
So who's left? Mickey Dolenz, the drummer?
Mickey Dolenz is the last one left.
He was my favorite. I thought he was a pretty cool guy.
He was my favorite too.
He had the coolest voice of them all, I thought.
Yeah, he got a nice voice.
I'm a believer. No, yeah, no.
Yeah, same song, same group. It's just sad what they had to go through. I mean, I when the Monkees came out, I absolutely loved them.
Oh yeah.
Once you researched, if you ever research into them, they got the Illuminati really controlled them and took away the songs that they wanted to put up, and forced them to do the songs that they're very popular for. But they screwed them over on their money, family, and then their artistic ability and everything else. And it's just a sad, really sad story. And it's a shame because I like them better than the Beatles.
And they were friends with the Beatles. They were actually friends with the Beatles. So that's kind of cool. And they had a cool car, the Monkees car. That was pretty cool. And the show, it was great. But, they put that band together for the show. They weren't a band before the show started.
Right.
So from the get-go, they owned the property, and they had, I guess I did see the Monkees in concert once. Um,
You know what's crazy, Aaron?
what?
That they always felt bad, right? The Monkees, they always felt bad that they had most of their hit songs were written by other, like, artists, like
Mhm.
songwriters,
Right.
and they didn't really write their hit song. They didn't. It's known knowledge, but they felt bad because they always said, "Oh, wish we could be like the Beatles and we could write our own hit song." But little did they know that the Beatles didn't write their hit songs either.
Oh, really?
They didn't. They don't know that. A lot of people think everything says Lennon McCartney written by all these hit songs and they're the great musicians and all. They didn't write their own music. None of those Beatle hit songs they wrote.
Really?
It was all written for them by the Illuminati.
Yep.
And the beats and the music, all that stuff, it was all orchestrated by Illuminati. So basically the Monkees felt bad because they were like a manufactured fake band, but little
Right.
did they know the Beatles were a manufactured fake band also. So they felt bad for nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. What? I'm excited. So much of this information is coming out. Our people our age, we grew up without the internet. We grew up with rotary phones, and you had to be home to talk to somebody. To research something, you had to read a book or go to the library or own an encyclopedia, and then you're forced to rely on only specific authors' works. Because it's just so. I was through my whole youth, I was super excited for the day of the internet, to where we have not just what books you can find in the library, but every book ever written by every author, and then the ability to research all that work through video versus reading, because you can watch, you can shorten a book through a video in a few minutes, where it could take you a few hours to read the whole book. So anyway, I'm excited. I've waited my whole youth, to experience all this, and now the reason of it comes out is, we get the information on these deep state actors who've been, putting the blinders on us our entire lives. And our chance to fight back and regain control of this world, And for a long time, I was terrified that not enough people were awake to the bullshit that was going on. And this is before, before Telegram and before everything else. Just going from the United States to traveling the world and coming back, the country I left is changed so much while I was gone, just in a short amount of time, talking 4-6 years, something like that. And I couldn't believe how hopeless everybody was. Yeah, the system's corrupt, but I'm just one guy. What can I do? If I don't pay my taxes, they're just going to come after me. They're rigging the elections. What's the point of me voting? And it's like, look, you just have to say no and get somebody else to say no.
Mm-hmm.
And look at Canada right now. You got a lot of people saying no. And that's what it's about. It's just time to just stand up. If you see something you don't agree with, see something against your beliefs, against humanity, speak up. Say no, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And find somebody.
That's why a year ago I invented the Invisimask, and I made my two little videos about it, because I really didn't like the whole mask thing. And so, yeah, we need to, we are standing up, but we need to do it more. Red Pill 78 had the Bonds for the Win people on there, which was really very awesome.
Was that last night?
No, a couple nights ago.
All right, I'll have to check it out, because I just found their link on Telegram yesterday.
Yeah, but they're doing it. I mean, so everyone who is in a position of public trust has to be bonded, a surety bond. And so you can find this out. You're constitutionally allowed to get this information. who is the bondholder for these people who are making kids wear masks in school. And then you confront them. You say, I'm giving you 10 days, 5 days or 10 days to stop this, or your bond will be revoked. And then I think they can never hold office after that again, if once their bond has been revoked. So this is a way to get these people out.
Yeah. Printed mine up last night.
You what?
I said I printed my Louisiana's copy of it last night.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
I could take it down and start posting them up for my neighbors.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the way it happens, folks. Bondsforthewin.com, and find your state, print it out like Carl did, pass them out like flyers and to your good friends, and we can all make a difference, a positive difference. Well, friends, it's 11:30. I think we're going to put a cap, and I want to hear a last word from Caillou Harris and from Carl. So Carl first, and then Caillou Harris will have the last word.
All right. Well, Aaron, thank you again for allowing me to be on your show, and thank you for the chat family, Mud Rabbit and Abby and Peggy Dancer and Austin Morris and Gloria Paddock and Dark Brain. I think he's still here. He might have bailed earlier, but I love you guys. Thanks for being around. Thanks for listening to me, and thank you for putting up with me. Just as a reminder, you are more powerful than you realize. You are energy, frequency, and vibration, and everything that you touch is energy, frequency, and vibration. If you think about it and contemplate it, you will awaken things inside of you that you never knew were there, and you will perceive this world in a different light. And that's what we need. That is what the awakening is. So God bless you. I love you, and I will see you all next week.
All right. Thanks, Carl.
Yes. Thanks, Aaron, for having me on the show. And thanks for everyone in the chat listening. You all are lovely, all you people. And I want to also, really quick, I want to apologize to everyone in the chat and you too for, the offensiveness for the joke. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have told. I feel so bad telling that joke because, it had a little dirtiness to it. One of it, when I said whatever, I forgot the one I said, when I said the word, whatever I said, pussy or something. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I was just telling a joke. I'm so sorry. I regret it.
Don't worry about it. If you're fine.
But yes, I'll hopefully you allow me. I could call in again, maybe later this week or something.
I would love that. We love hearing from you, Mr. Harris. You rock.
Thanks a lot. Because I got some stories about some cryptids I was reviewing, and I learned something about. I had 2 family members that seen 2 cryptids. I would like to tell that story.
Okay.
Maybe I'll call back this week.
That's interesting. Okay. Wednesday and Friday. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are our nights. So we'll see you then. Thank you so much for calling in, Caillou Harris. We'll see you real soon.
I'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Take care.
Not this week, next week.
All right.
This week. See you later. Oh.
Thank you. All right. All right, friends. Well, that was nice. We got 2 calls tonight. That was great. And I want to thank everyone in the chat. You guys are the star of every single show. And I hear it from lots of people that we've got the best chat in the business. And so my hat's off to you guys. You guys rock. You guys rock. Okay? Because we're just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. That's how you know you're on the truth quest. So keep that camera and that phone to the skies so you can film that UFO, so you can come on to the show and talk about it. Until then, come back. We're coming back on Wednesday and Friday, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays here at the Truth Quest. Until then, peace in.